So, folks, there's this guy named Donald Trump, and he has been repeatedly having his ass handed to him in court by judges, lawyers, untold numbers of legal experts. And, like, he floated the idea earlier today at a cabinet meeting that have basically become glorified butt kissing adventures for him and all of his cabinet. Um, he said that he was considering an attempt of suspending habeas corpus, which, again, is insane. And also, you can't, like, sure, you can't do that, but also, like, that's really kind of dictator time. Like, that's like, oh, he's making the power move, the power grab situation. And I don't want to make a huge deal about this because, frankly, Donald Trump is going to say a lot of things, and he's going to say a lot of things with a lot of bluster to be really scary because, frankly, he doesn't have a whole lot going on. Like, we're just a day or so out from his first 100 days, and the big accomplishments that he had were an executive order about water pressure, ending production of the penny, and, like, genuinely that's about it. So he's trying to say a lot of things to project a lot of power. And so I'm encouraging you all, don't get too, like, scared of this, because regardless of what happens, the thing we have to keep doing is to continue to organize, right? We have to continue to organize, continue to get bigger and bigger and bigger. For the record, put in your calendars the next big day of protest that is being coordinated by Indivisible is June 14th, Flag Day. Basically, the premise is to organize in as many places as possible outside of Washington, D.C. The big reason it's going to be outside of Washington, D.C., as opposed to everywhere and Washington, D.C., is because Donald Trump is going to be having a giant goddamn military parade in the middle of Washington, D.C. on Flag Day, because Flag Day is also his goddamn birthday. And he wants to throw himself a giant birthday boy party because he's turning 79 years old. Not nice. And so that's the next big day of protest. What we should be doing between now and then, not spending too much time worrying about things Donald Trump says that he has really no plan or ability to enact, and instead focusing on what actually matters and what actually moves the needle, which is planning and organizing our mass protest for June 14th. Okay? June 14th, put it in your calendar, put it in your calendar, put it in your calendar. That's the next big one. I want as many of you as possible to get out there for that. And you can find more on Indivisible's website. I believe the theme of this particular protest is No Kings. And yeah, so that's kind of what we're going to be working on. But worth noting that following his off the cuff comment on suspending the writ of habeas corpus, folks like Charlie Kirk are now getting in on this. President Trump is considering suspending writ of habeas corpus for illegal aliens to combat national injunctions by activist judges designed to block deportations. One way that's been used by 3 highly respected presidents. We hope we don't have to go that route, but there is one way that's been used very successfully by 3 presidents. Abraham Lincoln famously issued this presidential proclamation 94, suspending the writ of habeas corpus during the Civil War. And, like, you know, just throwing this out there, I think for the vast majority of people, it's pretty apparent that we are not in a crisis comparable to the Civil War that necessitates the suspension of the writ of habeas corpus. Okay? So, I don't think that I think this is politically a non-starter, especially with the base, right? When even like Charlie Kirk is like, yeah, the last time we used it was during the Civil War. Nah, that's not a compelling argument, you know? Um, Interestingly, here, I just wanted, this was a real reason I wanted to talk about this. Because the internet's dumbest and least curious man decided to weigh in on the situation of Donald Trump potentially suspending writ of habeas corpus. And I am, of course, talking about Asmongold.
I'm sure there's embellishment here and there. But do I believe that judges are actively working to obstruct the justice system in order to facilitate illegal immigrants into the country? Yes, I think that.
Why? How are judges obstructing the justice system? They facilitate the justice system. They, in effect, are the backbone of it. You incurious bastard.
And I think any of them that do that should be arrested. And I think the one...
Do what? And I know you have a picture of like the judge who was arrested in Wisconsin for obstruction. And let me tell you, I've dug deeper into that story. And guess what? Judge Dugan is perfectly within her rights on like basically every level of this story. For those of you who haven't heard this yet, last week or early this week, I've lost all track of time. A judge in Wisconsin who's been serving since 2016 was arrested by the FBI on charges of obstructing justice and,
racist Republicans, noted fans of Lincoln's suspension of the writ of habeas corpus.
Yep. But she was arrested because she let a guy out a door of her courtroom that ICE agents didn't expect her to use. And then they made the arrest. Like, her big crime and obstruction was the guy came out a door that ICE agents didn't expect. Like, that's literally it. And they still wound up arresting him. And also, they only had an administrative warrant. They did not have a judicial warrant. And she's a state judge, and she doesn't have to help them do shit on an administrative warrant. That's essentially the case here. You need a judicial warrant in order to like compel a judge to help you in this way, and they didn't have that. So their charges are going to go nowhere, and we all kind of know that because they just used her arrest as a PR stunt to try and intimidate other judges. It kind of has had the reverse effect, actually. So, yeah. But sure, yeah, she was really meaningfully obstructing justice here, Asmongold. Balthazar, thank you for the $5 super chat. I love that Lincoln pardoned someone for attempting... What? I'm not reading that.
That do that and they unknowingly or knowingly help a member of a terrorist organization should be charged directly with treason.
Who are you talking about? Who helped members of a terrorist group escape? What are you talking about?
That's
the guy in this case was not an alleged gang member. You absolute incompetent clown.
That's what I believe. Not disbarring, not putting them in jail. Again, Old Testament.
Yeah, I love when one of the biggest streamers just is like calling for the execution of a judge because she let a guy out a door that ICE agents weren't expecting. And just as an FYI here, I'm just like reading between the lines because I read the affidavit, because currently the only things we know about this case are like the government's affidavit. the reason she called that guy up and expedited his case and then got him through that other door was because she didn't want to have these ICE agents interrupt the court proceedings. Because they were insinuating that they were going to come into her courtroom and arrest him. But, yeah, sure. She's a traitor to the Republic and must be stoned to death, Old Testament style, of course.
The moment that you implement legitimate, real personal consequence.
Hey, just as an FYI, Asmongold, I don't think you want to invoke Old Testament style rules because you'd probably be killed for wearing mixed fabric shirts. Okay? Just, I'm looking at that shirt. That looks like a mixed, like some kind of mixed blend there, buddy.
Is the moment that this stuff goes away. So Trump is too soft? He's way too soft. Way too soft. I hope Trump.
He's way too soft, man. He's like the pelt of the rat I use as an alarm clock. Just he's too soft. I need something coarser.
Listen, can somebody fucking tell him this? His entire first term, he spent trying to be reasonable. Bro, you don't have to give a fuck anymore. Just do it. Just do it. Everybody wants this.
Man, I love when one of the biggest streamers on the planet just is saying, yeah, man, everyone wants the fascism. Just ignore laws, man. Just do it. Just ignore the laws. Just do the things you want to do. And I'm just, I'm just going to say it, and I know it might seem a bit overplayed at this point, but this is Nazi shit. This is Nazi shit. When you're saying, oh, just ignore laws and just become a dictator, just, execute judges that you think are bad because they defied you without any kind of trial, that's Nazi shit. That's you're advocating for Night of the Long Knives, man. Execute the traitors.
Said she likes your beach babe hair. Also, you should read the article Democracies Must Fight Back Against Social Media, or Perish Later.
Okay. Where is it published, Brutus Magnuson? Thank you for the $5 super chat. And thank you to your girlfriend for saying I have beach babe hair. I exercised today. This is exercise hair. Can we have an Asmongold emote? Oh, God. I don't even know what it would be. Define Nazism? Sure. The ideology that fueled the rise of the Third Reich. And if you want to know more about that, you can watch my video where I go over the essay, Fascism. I have a video on my channel that you can avail yourself of where I read through the entire essay. It's short. The essay itself is short. And you can just listen to it because I've had this conversation many, many times. I get my definition of fascism from the 14 points of fascism, which are contained within the essay Fascism. It's written and used as kind of a quintessential foundational definition of fascism. You're right, that's not a definition, but it's almost like I've had to have this conversation so many different times that I've made an entire video so I didn't have to have it. Umberto Eco did a good job. Here you go. Here you go. Here's the video essay. It's an hour and 20 minutes long. Go knock yourself out. Come back when you watch it. I'm gonna actually give you a timeout for that length of time. There you go. If you double the speed, you might be able to finish it in time.
It's the right thing to do. Just fucking do it.
Hell, just read the essay. It's free. It's free and short, but the reason I did a video reading Fascism is because I know a lot of you aren't going to read it, even if I say it's free and short. And frankly, I don't think someone with a lolly avatar is going to actually take the time to read anything.
Go, yeah, ball out. Fuck it, ball out. Exactly.
How is this Nazi? How is this a Nazi ideology? How is calling for the execution of judges without trial? How is that Nazi ideology?
Attorney General is too soft. I think she's way too soft as well. I want somebody like Tom Homan in there, right? Like that's, yeah, the families can be deported to.
I want someone like Tom Homan. He's a smart man. When you read the things Tom Homan says, of course he comes across as an inhuman monster. But like when you actually listen to him speak, he's literally like a cartoon character of like an incompetent, brainless ham. I've been looking and I can't find anything sufficient for the Tom Homan thing that I desire. Maybe if I type in Tom Homan stupid idiot on videos, I will get something. Man, more people need to make fun of this clown. I should be able, like, genuinely, we need to live in a world where I type in Tom Homan stupid idiot into, like, Google videos, and I find a plethora of options, and yet this is the top result.
Legal asylees are not charged with any crime.
When you're into the country illegally, it's violation 8 United States Code 1325.
Seeking asylum is legal.
If you want to seek asylum to go through the port of entry, do it the legal way.
Mr. Homan, your name is on this. Is this correct?
Yes, I signed that memo.
So you are the author of the family separation policy?
I am not the author of this memo.
You're not the author, but you signed the memo.
Yes, a zero tolerance memo.
So you provided the official recommendation to Secretary Nielsen on family, for the United States to pursue family separation.
I gave Secretary Nielsen numerous recommendations on how to secure the border and save lives.
The recommendation
That's
of the
Tom
many
Homan,
that
yeah.
you recommended family separation,
I recommended zero tolerance.
which includes family separation.
The same as is with every U.S. citizen parent gets arrested when they're with a child.
Zero tolerance was interpreted as the policy that separated children from their
If I get arrested for DUI and I have a young child in the car, I'm going to be separated. When I was a police officer in New York and I arrested a father for domestic violence, I separated that.
With I was a police officer. Come on, man. The dramatic music is so unnecessary. It really is. But again, that was the top result. And I wanted way more results of just him saying stupid things in his stupid voice. With his stupid little brain. Of course, he was a fucking New York cop. Yeah.
Last night, I ended what happened to be the longest streak that I've ever had of not taking a shower.
I mean, this isn't this isn't what I was looking for, but I'll take it.
About a month and a half. Why? Why do you do that? I do whatever the fuck I want. I am not tethered by those earthly desires, and I'm able to dredge and delve into the depths of depravity. I don't really know what's wrong with me. I'm not a normal person, and I don't ever really feel dirty. I don't. If you do shower, yeah, obviously you might feel better or whatever. I don't. I feel great all the time. Why would I do something that I don't have to do? I don't really know how I got this way. I kind of just carried this tradition on for an indefinite period of time, and it got even worse than that. I got to be who I really was. Then things just kind of degraded from there. And I know this might sound fucking delusional, and that's probably because it is, but I am building momentum. I'm becoming more powerful. My hair gets very greasy. I'm a very greasy boy. But the reality is that about 10 days in, after you haven't showered for about 10 days, you pretty much stop getting dirty. You kind of hit...
That's not true, and this man is disgusting in basically every conceivable way. Like, disgusting body and soul.
A plateau. You get to a point where it's like, well, if I don't shower, nothing changes. Really, like after about the 10th day or so, you stop getting dirty, and at that point, you're just kind of chilling. I don't know if that's scientific. Probably not. So I
mean, the presentation of this is as a bit, because it's presenting him as a worshiper of Nurgle, the god of pestilence and disease from the Warhammer 40k universe.
pretty much showered for nothing, and I ruined, what turned out to be a pretty good thing. A lot of people think that I'm depressed. There's something wrong with me. Well, there is. But I'm actually very happy. I feel great all of the time. Eventually, doctor's probably going to tell me I've got to stop doing that. That's going to suck. But until then, we're going to do what we're going to do. I just came off over 5 weeks or so of not showering.
Yeah, this is the guy you want to listen to for your politics takes. He sounds like he's got some good ideas.
And it was quite an experience. It was completely normal, business as usual.
She's goddamn hot! Shit!
Cool.
Together, let's get him in charge. This guy knows what matters.
Yeah, that guy knows what matters. He loves separating children from their families. That's what matters to me.
I'm sure there's embellishment.
God, Anyway, a lot of Republicans are just absolutely giddy at the prospect of, like, losing their civil rights. And again, a lot of this, I've been thinking about this a lot. A lot of it just comes back to, like, this lack of understanding that what is affecting other people is going to affect them at some point. Like, a lot of Republicans just do not realize that it's like the cost of these policies is also going to come at their expense. Like, oh well, we're fixing the Made in America problem. Okay, if you think that, all right, but you realize it's going to make everything cost like 40% more for you, right? You realize, like, your kid is going to have fewer toys. Your family is going to have less to eat. You are not going to be able to make ends meet as easily. Or, when we're talking about suspending writ of habeas corpus, the government can just arrest you and not tell you why and just hold you forever and not give you a trial. Like, that's what that means. And you might say, well, but yeah, I want that for undocumented immigrants. Okay, but you realize that's also going to apply to you too, right? This isn't like a oh, well, it only happened to the bad people and won't happen to the good people. And Donald Trump is good, so he won't target me. No, that's not how that works. But it will hurt the people they hate first, and that is a much higher priority for many of them. It is a higher priority for a lot of them. But I think the reason it's a higher priority is because they do not recognize it to be a threat to themselves. I think, like, a lot of these people don't realize that the tariffs are, like, they think that the tariffs are hurting, like, China. They don't realize that the tariffs are going to hurt them. And even if they recognize that it might hurt them, they think, oh, well, it'll just hurt me for a little bit, but I'll be fine. But, like, that's not how any of this is going to work, Your kid won't need toys. He'll get to go play in the mines. Yeah. I don't know how to explain to you that you're going to fuck yourself too if you want everyone fucked. Yeah, that's kind of the point I'm trying to make, right? Like, these people just genuinely don't realize they're in the line of fire here. They're like standing up against the wall while soldiers aim guns at all of us, and they're like, I can't wait to see you get yours. You're bad, and you're bad. Anyway, you can fire when ready, guys. Just don't hit me. More Perfect Union has a vid about what you said. Yeah. A lot of them don't get it. Anyway. Moving right along.
Riverboat Jack is coming to town. All the viewers gather round. Twitch and YouTube and swishy streams. All that content is bursting the seams. Politics, being plenty more. Your sense of fashion you'll adore. So grab your stuff and hop aboard. We're going straight to Jack's Discord.